Hey there, wonderful people. Whether you're joining us for the first time or coming back for more, welcome to the Personal Pronouns series. Get ready to learn, explore, and have some fun along the way. Fasten your seatbelts. Part 2 of the Personal Pronouns adventure starts now. Previously, in part 1 of our personal pronouns adventure, we uncovered how personal pronouns bring life to people, ideas, events, and things. We decoded the mystery behind pronouns like it and they. We explored how pronouns change based on person, case, gender, and number, and we cracked the code on the difference between subjective and objective pronouns. But the journey isn't over yet. Part 2 is here, and there is so much more to discover. Let's dive right into today's lesson. First up, we are exploring the personal pronouns chart, breaking down first person, second person, and third person. Get ready to master how these pronouns shift depending on who is speaking, who is being spoken to, and who is being spoken about. First person pronouns. In the singular form, I is used in the subjective case, the doer of the action, while me is used in the objective case, the receiver of the action. In the plural form, we is used in the subjective case and us is used in the objective case when referring to more than one person. Before we dive into first person pronouns in sentences, let's clear up the common confusion between I and me. Here's a simple trick to remember. Use I when you are the one doing the action. Example, I am going to the store. Use me when you are receiving the action. Example, my friend gave the gift to me. Think of it this way. I does the action and me gets the action. By keeping this simple rule in mind, you'll be able to use I and me correctly every time. Now, let's put this into practice. Determine whether each sentence is grammatically correct or incorrect. Test your understanding and see if you can spot the right use of I and me. Let's see the first sentence. The teacher gave I the homework. This sentence is incorrect. Corrected sentence. The teacher gave me the homework. Why? I is a subject pronoun used when performing an action. Me is an object pronoun used when receiving an action. Since me is receiving the action, the homework is being given to me. We use me instead of I here. Let's move on to the second sentence. The team consisted of me and two other players. The sentence is framed correctly. The phrase consisted of requires an object pronoun, me, not a subject pronoun, I. A quick test, remove two players. The team consisted of me sounds correct, while the team consisted of I sounds wrong. Let's move on to the third sentence. The manager asked I to give a presentation. Incorrect. Corrected sentence. The manager asked me to give a presentation. Me is needed because it's the object receiving the action. The manager is asking me to do something. Let's move on to the next one. Can you help my friend and I? Incorrect. Corrected sentence. Can you help my friend and me? A quick trick. Remove my friend. Can you help I? Sounds wrong. But can you help me? Sounds right. Now, let's look at more examples to strengthen your understanding and clear up any confusion. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Let's see the fifth one. The report was written by my supervisor and me. Correct. Use me here because it's the object of the preposition by. A quick check. You wouldn't say the report was written by I. Let's move on to the sixth one. The team consisted of 3 players, including I. Incorrect. Corrected sentence. The team consisted of 3 players, including me. After including, always use me object form, not I. Next one. My sister and me are going to the new mall tonight. Incorrect. Corrected sentence. My sister and I are going to the new mall tonight. I is the subject of the sentence doing the action. A quick trick. Remove my sister. Me am going sounds wrong, but I am going sounds right. The last one. I went to the store. Correct. I is correct here because it is the subject performing the action. I hope this has made I versus me crystal clear. No more second guessing. You are now equipped to use them correctly with confidence. Now it's time to explore first person singular and plural in both subjective and objective forms through example sentences for better understanding. In first person pronouns, the form changes depending on whether it's singular or plural and whether it's used as a subject or an object. First person singular, subjective, I. Used when the speaker is doing the action. Example, I am going to the store. Objective, me. Used when the speaker is receiving the action. Example, my friend is coming to meet me. First person plural. Subjective, we. Used when more than one person, including the speaker, is doing the action. Example, we are going to the park. Objective, us. Used when more than one person, including the speaker, is receiving the action. Example, the teacher gave the homework to us. Moving on to second person pronouns. In both singular and plural, the pronoun you remains the same for both subjective, doing the action, and objective, receiving the action forms. Now, let's explore the usage of the pronoun you through example sentences. Second person singular, subjective, you. Used when the person being spoken to is performing the action. Example, you are going to the store. Objective you, used when the person being spoken to is receiving the action. Example, I am going to the store with you. Second person plural, subjective, you. Used when addressing more than one person performing the action. Example, you are all going to the park. Objective, you. Used when more than one person is receiving the action. Example, I am giving the presents to you. Since you stays the same in both singular and plural as well as in subjective and objective forms, its role in the sentence helps determine its function. Note, the pronoun you is unisex and gender neutral, meaning it can be used to refer to anyone regardless of gender. Understanding third person pronouns. Third person pronouns refer to someone or something other than the speaker or the listener. They change based on number, singular or plural, and case, subjective or objective. Singular, subjective case, he, she, it, used when performing an action. Objective case, him, her, it, used when receiving an action. Plural, subjective case, they, used when performing an action. Objective case, them, used when receiving an action. Unlike first and second person pronouns, third person pronouns vary based on gender. He, him for males, she, her for females, and neutrality, it for things or animals in general. Now, let's explore the usage of third person pronouns through example sentences. Third person singular. Subjective he. Used when referring to a male performing the action. Example, he loves playing soccer. Objective him. Used when referring to a male receiving the action. Example, I am going to meet him at the park. Subjective she. Used when referring to a female performing the action. Example, she is studying for her exam. Objective her. Used when referring to a female receiving the action. Example, I bought her favorite book. Now, moving on to the usage of the third person singular pronoun it in sentences. Third person singular it. Subjective it. Used when referring to a thing, an animal, or an unknown subject performing an action. Example, it is getting darker outside. Objective it. Used when referring to a thing, an animal, or an unknown subject receiving an action. Example, I am trying to open the jar, but it is too tight. Since it remains the same in both subjective and objective cases, its function in the sentence determines its role. Understanding third person plural pronouns. Subjective they. Used when referring to multiple people or things performing an action. Example, they love playing board games. Objective them. Used when referring to multiple people or things receiving an action. Example, she gave them a gift card. The pronouns they and them are gender neutral and apply to both people and objects in the plural form. That's a wrap on our personal pronouns adventure. But hold on, this journey isn't over yet. In the next video, we are turning up the excitement with fun, interactive exercises to solidify your learning. Plus, there's a special home assignment waiting for you. Time to put your skills to test. Got questions? Want me to dive deeper into something? Or just dropping by to say hi? Leave a comment below. Before you go, enjoyed this lesson? Give that like button a high five. New here? Hit subscribe and be part of our learning squad. Know someone who would love this? Share it with them. See you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay awesome, and keep learning.